Hi there, thanks for joining us for another informative weekend edition of Jamaica Magazine. I'm your host, Adrian Atkinson. Welcome to the show. Today we'll be looking at customs online systems, providing a single window for cross-border trade. Also get health-wise on the benefits of breastfeeding. Plus, explore climate-smart farming for sustainability. Stick around for these and more interesting features right after this important message.
Nutritious food, succulent dishes, superior workmanship, and excellent service. Jamaica is on the go. Let's grow what we eat and eat what we grow. Let's harness the indomitable spirit of our most valued resource, our people. Let's support our local businesses. After all, buying Jamaican means building Jamaica.
Technology has been helping us carry out our daily activities with greater ease, and government through the Jamaica Customs Agency has implemented one such technology-based system that increases efficiency when conducting cross-border trade. Take a look.
Committed to improving and simplifying the processes of cross-border trade, Jamaica is now fully implementing the Jamaica Single Window for Trade, J-SWIFT.
J-SWIFT is a single portal which allows for traders or their agents to submit applications to the respective border regulatory agencies. That is to obtain a certificate or permit, any sort of approval that is involved in cross-border trade.
The aim is to transition the physical paper documentations through a seamless interconnected online access point with the over 20 cross-border regulatory agencies in Jamaica. Effective August 23, 2021, all exporters or their brokers requiring a certificate of origin from the Trade Board Limited must submit their application using the Jamaica Single Window for Trade, J-SWIFT. Therefore, all locally manufactured goods and agricultural produce for export must have an authorized certificate of origin. This is in order to access and obtain preferential treatment in other territories and markets. A certificate of origin is a declaration form indicating the country in which the commodity or goods are manufactured. This document also provides details about the product and the country it is being exported to.
The J-SWIFT system now brings a fully digitalized service where all of that can be done from the convenience, whether it is your home, your office, or wherever it is. And also the services that are being carried out by the respective BRAs, those can be fulfilled within the same ecosystem or same ecospace. And of course, the approved permit or certificate can be retrieved electronically. So there's no more moving in terms of physical dropping off of documents, etc. All of that is being done online.
The Trade Board Limited, TBL, one of the authorized border regulatory agencies for approving certificates of origin, reviews the trader or agent application and grants approval. The trader or agent is then able to print the approved certificate of origin using the J-SWIFT system.
When our clients submit certificates online, those certificates are automatically assigned to an officer for processing, and what we do is that we log into the system and we retrieve the documents that are assigned to us. We check information for the company that is exporting the products. We also do a check to ensure that all items have been approved by Trade Board Limited and that these items are really deemed certified for exports.
The trader or agent prepares the J-SWIFT Certificate of Origin application to obtain preferential treatment under the relevant trade agreements. The trader or agent then pays for the application and await the feedback from TBL.
The feedback from our client is that this is a preferred method because they are always indicating to us that they want online, no physical document to be submitted to them. Jerry and Nebby, our primary client, would submit the document to us online by email for us to prepare a certificate of origin for various CARICOM countries. What we normally do is we prepare the CARICOM invoice, we scan that document online, and then we go on J-SWIFT platform and we prepare the certificate of origin. This normally takes about 10-15 minutes, after which we submit for payment. Once the document is paid, then it takes about 24 hours for the process to be prepared, after which we submit this document to our client.
Leading the implementation of J-Swift is the Jamaica Customs Agency. It's also the host and operator of the platform in partnership with cross-border regulatory agencies. The benefits of traders include greater convenience and faster processing time, online application, payment and approval, online access to the approved certificate of origin, plus a system-generated CARICOM invoice. J-Swift, your window to trade.
Lowering the sodium content in children's diets today can help prevent heart disease later in their life, especially for those who are overweight. Shake the salt habit, shop smart and cook smart. Use less or no salt when cooking. Try using fresh herbs and seasonings to add more flavor. Limit the consumption of salty snacks. Take the time to carefully read the nutrition labels on food products to identify those high in salt and choose the healthier options. Remember, no more than 2 grams of salt per day from all food sources for children under 11 years of age.
As we continue our health journey on Jamaica Magazine, we examine the benefits of breastfeeding to both mother and a child.
Every child has the right to enough nourishing food to grow well and flourish. For the very young, breast milk remains the best food source.
Data from the World Health Organization shows that breast milk, as the natural first food for babies, provides all the energy and nutrients that the infant needs for the first 6 months of life. And it continues to provide up to half or more of a child's nutritional needs during the second half of the first year, and up to 1/3 during the second year of life.
Breast milk provides much needed antibodies to protect babies against all kinds of infections. The colostrum or foremilk, which is the first milk produced by mothers after giving birth, is the baby's first immunization against some infections. Babies who are exclusively breastfed have less episodes of diarrhea, acute respiratory infection, and skin conditions.
Appropriate breastfeeding practices, therefore, have the potential to reduce infant mortality in children ages 5 years and younger by 14%, while appropriate complementary feeding up to 2 years of age is capable of preventing an additional 6% of deaths in this age range.
Breastfeeding also establishes a close, loving bond between mother and baby. In addition, mothers benefit from improved postpartum recovery, reduced iron loss, and decreased risk of breast and ovarian cancers. Another benefit? Mothers need not spend on infant formulas, which can be a huge financial burden.
Breastfeeding is a universal solution that has proven to improving the health, well-being, and survival of women and children around the world. It helps to prevent malnutrition in all its forms, ensures food security for infants and young children, and thus helps to bring people and nations out of hunger and the poverty cycle. That's big. That's quite profound.
Men can actively participate and support the breastfeeding mother. So even, for example, if the milk is expressed and placed in a clean container or cup, then the father can be the one to feed the child from the cup with the breast milk.
In cases where the mother is breastfeeding, the father can support her by doing chores to ease her burden.
Some quick tips on breastfeeding for mommy to eat from all the 7 food groups that keep you healthy. Continue taking your maternal supplements Remember, baby is getting all its nutrients from breast milk, and make sure that when baby sleeps, you sleep, because babies don't have a special time to sleep, so you have to get rest when baby sleeps.
Mothers who choose not to breastfeed are encouraged to discuss this issue with their healthcare provider. Individual counseling on breastfeeding is important for dispelling any myths or concerns.
And we need to embrace the traditional approaches as it relates to lactating mothers, as it relates to development of our newborns. And there is very little technology that is going to change that reality, that the breast is best and is still the best.
Medical experts recommend the initiation of breastfeeding within half hour of birth. Do not give newborns any food or drink other than breast milk unless medically indicated. And encourage breastfeeding on demand. Also, don't give artificial teats or pacifiers to breastfeeding infants.
The hope for the ministry is that every child receives a fair opportunity at benefiting from the tremendous nutritional and other critical values, psycho-emotional, physiological, economic, and hygienic advantages of breastfeeding.
Do what's best for your child. Breastfeed and give them a healthy start to a long life.
Know your numbers and control the keys to a healthier heart. Know the numbers for your blood pressure, cholesterol level, blood glucose level, and your weight and body mass index. Find out the risks they represent and what you need to do to stay healthy. Talk to your doctor and start making healthy lifestyle choices to prevent a heart attack or stroke.
Trees are the lungs of the earth. They absorb carbon dioxide and emit oxygen. They also play a part in sustaining livelihoods. In this next feature, we share even more benefits of trees.
Jamaica, the land of wood and water. Preserving the rich history of our island's natural bounty is centered on the core ideal of sustainability. So, with every precious drop of rainfall harvested into the beautiful canopy of the island, increasing the urgency to safeguard our water sources is everyone's responsibility. An area of land that allows for the drainage of rainwater into a common place like a pond or river is known as a watershed. Now, you may live near a river or drink the water from a bottle, but how much do you know about watersheds and their life-giving role? There are over 100 rivers making up Jamaica's watersheds. These rivers are critical resources to the ecosystem of the land, while empowering our economy. The National Environment and Planning Agency NEPA manages Jamaica's 26 watershed management units WMUs in partnership with key governmental agencies such as the Rural Agricultural Development Authority RADA, the Forestry Department, the Water Resources Authority, and other partners. There is one major factor to note in the protection of watersheds, and it's the delicate balance of the communities who earn a living from these areas through agriculture.
So we try to take a bottom-up approach to watershed management. Now that will involve liaising with the communities, getting their inputs prior to going into any given watershed with any intervention. You have to do what we consider to be an assessment of the needs of the community, separate and apart from an assessment of the needs of the watershed prior to going in and doing our interventions.
This approach forms part of the integrated watershed and coastal area management model, which takes into consideration the community's views. Under the Watersheds Protection Act of 1963, watershed areas are declared and regulated to conserve the water resources, while allowing residents to gain from popular land economic activities such as farming.
You do have complementary acts that would speak to watershed management. So you have, for example, the RADA Act of 1990 that will allow for the use of extension services, which translate into watershed management as the use of sustainable land management practices with the farmers.
There are 7 other pieces of legislation that support the Major Watersheds Protection Act. Finding the balance between benefiting from the resources in watersheds and preventing its degradation is continuous work by the environmental authorities. In 2015, a $3.9 million Yalas Hope Watershed Restoration Project was launched as a joint initiative between the government and the Inter-American Development Bank (IDB. The Yalas and Hope River watershed supply 40% of the drinking water in the densely populated urban parishes of Kingston and St. Andrew.
We would have trained under that project over 5,000 farmers in sustainable land management. And then we would have also did quite a number of studies. We'd have done some replanting in the area. We'd have replanted over 500 hectares.
A major initiative from the Yalas Hope River Restoration Project was the use of a payment for ecosystem services scheme designed to give an incentive to farmers who rely less on the watersheds.
At the end of that project, we would have, through modeling, showed that we have seen a reduction in about 8% of sediments coming down out of that watershed, and that's a conservative estimate. It goes up to 17% when you factor in the interventions that were done by our partners in these watersheds.
NEPA also established a Yalas and Hope River Watershed Management Committee to ensure that these results continue. Jamaica's international ranking as a strong and actions-based drive of environmental protection is steadily growing. A Jamaican Path from Hills to Ocean project is the latest initiative to restore 3 major watersheds across the island in the next 5 years. The $1.05 billion Jamaican dollar project is a joint partnership between the government and the European Union, executed by the Planning Institute of Jamaica in support of NEPA and RADA.
So the rapid ecological assessment is expected to inform some of the project activities that will help with the RADA-led components in identifying some areas that will be prioritized for intervention, and those priority will be for trainings for farmers and other techniques that would help with the overall watershed management. The Cassiton Botanical Garden is one particular location within one of the watershed management units that would benefit mostly from some of these activities.
Work will also be done on 2 wetland ecosystems, Winds Morass in Trelawney and the Mason River Protected Area on the border of St. Anne and Clarendon.
And those activities would help with the overall preservation and conservation of those 2 wetland areas to stem or kind of address some of the challenges we are currently facing with issues of encroachment or solid waste deposits, and also the general sensitization through the use of signage and public education.
The project will also flow into the protection of Jamaica's marine life.
So the assessment of seagrass, the health and distribution of seagrass beds within the Ocherius Marine Park and the Helsha, Half Moon Bay area will also be assessed, so we can see if the activities implemented over the 5-year period would have helped with the health or the general health of the marine environment in these areas.
Don't waste water. Turn on your tap at half blast. Plant a tree. The more, the better. Do not litter. Proper waste disposal prevents your garbage from getting into our rivers and streams. Be environmentally friendly. Get involved and help protect the earth. The work to protect our watersheds aligns with Jamaica's signatory to the Paris Agreement on Climate Change to limit global warming to 1.5 degrees Celsius. Equivalently, our Vision 2030 national plan also prioritizes balancing sustainable use of the environment and reducing poverty. Through climate-smart steps to better use the lands and the hills of our watersheds and reduce the degradation of our coastlines, the value of protecting Jamaica's watersheds today will pay the price for securing the future of the island.
are in a race against time, to reverse the effects of climate change by one simple action which has positive and enduring effects. That's right, plant a tree, leave a lasting legacy. Join the My Tree Legacy promotion by planting a tree at your alma mater and share your work with us. Submit videos and pictures of you, your family, your friends, and colleagues planting trees. Every tree counts. Plant a tree today and keep climate change away.
We're near the end of our half-hour journey through the pages of Jamaica Magazine, but as we have been out in the fields of nature, we'll explore another important aspect of building climate resilience.
With a degree of increasing urgency on our actions to combat fast rising temperatures and slow sea levels eroding closer inland, what we do about climate change today will matter. The effects of climate change are far-reaching, and food security is one of the areas affected. As protecting our food security remains a high-level priority, climate-smart agriculture takes on increasing importance. This way of harvesting food uses better farming practices to reduce its contributions to greenhouse gas emissions, while increasing production output. Smart agricultural practices include reducing deforestation, better soil management, and intercropping. Climate-smart agriculture practices are intended to achieve three major outcomes. 1. Increased productivity. More food is needed to feed the global population as it continues to grow exponentially. Equally important is ensuring sustainable incomes for farmers, distributors, and key players driving the agriculture industry. Data from the World Bank indicates that 75% of the world's poor who live in rural areas rely on agriculture for their livelihoods. Number 2. Resilience to climate change threats. Increasing severe weather conditions caused by a warmer Earth means more drastic impact on agriculture output. To prevent this from happening, farmers can implement these practices, changing crops and livestock to ones better suited to the climate, and using technology to develop resistant variations of foods such as rice and bean plants. 3. Reduce greenhouse gas emissions, caused by farming inputs such as fertilizers. Sharply reducing the use of fertilizers that produce gases such as carbon dioxide and nitrogen through crop rotation practices is one green-checked option. To truly practice proper climate-smart techniques, the dialogue must be tailored to the different climate experiences across the world. In Jamaica's context, areas of major concern include the island's vulnerability to hurricanes, flooding, and droughts. The government has been implementing several programs at the community and national levels in partnership with regional and international agencies. The mission is to build climate resilience in Jamaica's agriculture sector.
We are investing $230,000 US in partnership with the Caribbean Agricultural Research and Development Institute, CARDI, for a pilot program on climate resilience, on the expansion and upgrading of seed storage facility at the Bodles Research Station. This is important. This facility is going to house the best quality seeds, including our own seed source from locally developed and indigenous landrace types for vegetables, cover crops, field crops, and legumes.
The Bodles Research Station is just one aspect of Jamaica's strategic plan to ensure sustainable crop production through proper seed storage. Planting crops conducive to the rainy and dry season is another climate-resilient food security measure.
Our goal is to encourage our farmers to plant more, but not just to plant more. We want to plant the heat and drought-tolerant varieties of crops, such as cassava, which are more suitable for our climate.
In the fisheries sector, several fish sanctuaries have been declared and fish farmers trained. Meanwhile, the Jamaica 4-H Club recently partnered with the United Nations Development Programme UNDP to train 600 youth farmers and fishers on how to utilize agriculture practices that will withstand climate change and how to recover quickly from its impact. The 6-month pilot project will run from September 2022 to February 2023. A major part of implementing smarter farming practices is the collaboration of all partners involved in this sector. As more information emerges, followed by more robust action on climate change policies from countries across the globe, the agriculture sector will be in a better position to meet the food production demand.
Jamaicans. It's time to focus on rebuilding the nation and reigniting the sparks that unite us. Yes, it's fireworks on the waterfront 2022. Let's check out some of the highlights.
This year we want to have a better life, more peace in our community, you know, have a prosperous adventure moving forward.
Wishing for a crime-free 2023 in Jamaica and love and prosperity to all and everyone. More life, more money.
My wish is for peace all over the world, especially in Europe, here in Jamaica. And I'm having a lot of fun in Jamaica. It's very nice. The architecture is much different than the U.S., so I'm really enjoying it a lot. And this is just a bonus on top of everything else. So Happy New Year to everybody.
My wish is to improve our restaurants for the new year coming.
And what's your wish for Jamaica?
Well, wish for the crime and violence to stop.
Happy New Year, Jamaica! We ask that each one of you continue to lift up the nation and rebuild Jamaica, land we love.
And this is where we end Jamaica's Magazine for today. Be sure to join us again tomorrow for another show. Until then, there is more to watch by visiting our website, jis.gov.jm. On behalf of the entire production team, I'm Adrian Atkinson. Until next time, do take care and have yourselves a great weekend.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.